Welcome to the Coalition's Creating Equity Alberta webcast. I'm Helen Rusich, the Provincial Coordinator. You will hear from 5 regional coordinators from Edmonton, Wood Buffalo, Calgary, Lethbridge, and Red Deer. They will share highlights, goals, successes, and excitement of their work for Alberta to be an equitable, diverse, and welcoming place. The Provincial Coalition recognizes that we are gathered on the traditional land of Treaty 6, 7, and 8. This is the traditional territory of the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked for centuries. They include Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Nakota Sioux, Métis, and Inuit. We are dedicated to working together with these diverse communities and settlers. This initiative was formed because of the Your Voice report, a provincial consultation led by the Chief of the Alberta Human Rights Commission in 2017. The report outlined the work of many agencies and community members from across the province and identified the gaps that need to be addressed. Funding is provided by the Alberta Human Rights Education and Multicultural Fund, which supports the 5 municipalities identified as Coalitions Creating Equity Alberta. The Provincial Coalition goal is to work collaboratively to build equity and address discrimination, hate incidents, and racism by listening and hearing first voice experiences. Equity is defined as an approach whereby all people, including those who bear the burden of historic and contemporary forms of marginalization, whether intentional or unintentional, have equal access to opportunities to define and achieve goals. Equity is more than an outcome. It is an ongoing process that seeks to correct systemic barriers and create a more just and fair society for all. The outcomes of the provincial coalitions are to build a collective vision. The 5 provincial coordinators meet monthly and have taken extensive training to build the vision of what equity and working together means to them. Identifying our pronouns, stating our ancestry, acknowledging the land we occupy, and listening to those who are marginalized, racialized, and lack privilege is part of our practice. Our collective work includes the development of a provincial website which showcases the work of the Coalition's 5 municipalities. When an Edmonton City Councillor requested information on how neighborhoods responded to hate incidents, Wood Buffalo provided a document on this. Enhance awareness and education. Understanding white privilege, colonization, anti-Black history, Indigenous cultures, anti-racism response training, voices of disability, understanding LGBTQ2S+ communities, and homelessness are some of the trainings we have taken. Sharing these trainings with community members is a key focus. Strengthen response model. A survey to collect incidents of hate was circulated in September 2019. Data is being collected, analyzed, and used to identify prototypes to test and further the work of a community response model. Focus group data is also being collected for further research. Connect coalition activities to broaden equity initiatives. Regional coordinators are connected to a wide cross-section of coalitions across the province, like the Edmonton Shift Lab, Social Innovation Calgary and Wood Buffalo, who use social innovation and human-centered design to address complex social issues like racism. We hope you enjoy the webcast, and for further information, contact Helen Rusich or Cam Stewart. I'd like to introduce the next presenter, Deborah Dobbins from the Edmonton Coalition.
Thank you, Helen. Coalitions Creating Equity Edmonton is an evolving group of organizations and community members who are working to address hate incidences, discrimination, and racism while working towards equity for all citizens so that everyone has an opportunity to strive and thrive in their communities without such injustices. The coalition is coordinated by the Reach Edmonton Council, a backbone, safety-building, community-based organization working to mobilize and coordinate organizations, groups, and individual citizens. Many Edmontonians experience daily occurrences of emotional, psychological, impacting, hate incidents, racial slurs, and/or other discriminatory incidences. Edmonton and Albertans must feel safe and welcome wherever they are. The CCC Edmonton is presently creating an infographic tool for frontline service workers and other applicable stakeholders that would assist them in gaining knowledge and understanding when supporting community members and others who have experienced a discriminatory or hate-filled act. The Wordle tool defines discrimination, hate crime, hate incidences, and racism, provides examples of personal stories of lived experiences, and includes possible actions and added resources for support. Over time, CCC Edmonton has built a strong network with other key stakeholders and groups. Such collaboration has resulted in hosting a series of 4 stakeholder working sessions. The main objectives of the meetings include network and intergroup support building, working collectively to understand the investigation and prosecution process of hate crimes, review of the analysis of the CCE 2019 survey results for Edmonton, and to discuss the community response mechanisms and service gaps. On Tuesday, September 10, 2019, Edmonton City Council unanimously approved Bylaw 18970 to create an anti-racism advisory committee. Once formatted, the 13-member citizen committee will provide perspective and advice to councillors on anti-discrimination issues. CCC Edmonton looks forward to building a positive relationship with the committee. Working collaboratively at the provincial level gives CCE Edmonton a broader perspective and insight to other urban and rural communities' issues and challenges, as well as their best practices and resources. By doing this, we are all stronger as we strive to make our city and province more open, inclusive, and equitable. For further information about CCE Edmonton, please contact Helen Rusich at Reach. I now introduce Crystal O'Hara from the CCE Wood Buffalo region.
Thank you, Deborah. The Coalition Creating Equity in Wood Buffalo is overseen by the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo through RESIDE, a council-appointed regional advisory committee on inclusion, diversity, and equality, which was created to engage community in discussion and action around the principles set out in the UNESCO commitments to combat racism and discrimination. RESIDE promotes, fosters, and gives advice on the development of policies, programs, and activities around diversity and inclusion. CCE Wood Buffalo is formed by RESIDE members, a municipal councillor, and several representatives from various community groups with lived experience, who represent the diversity of our region and who have extensive experience in inclusion and equity work. Some of the goals achieved by CCE Wood Buffalo and RESIDE since the creation of CCE are: engaged community members in the development of strategies to address discrimination and racism, built relationships with and between organizations and individuals that worked towards improving equity in the region, increased public education and built awareness about hate, discrimination, racism, and inclusion. And community members and organizations have increased their capacity to respond effectively to discrimination and prejudice. These outcomes have been possible because of the collaboration and partnership with several organizations, such as the Collaboration for Religious Inclusion, the Multicultural Association, Pride YMM, the Wood Buffalo Regional Library, Spinal Cord Injury, Canadian Society, the Regional Municipality, and many other agencies. CC Wood Buffalo has achieved those outcomes through the following initiatives: community conversations for residents to share their experiences and contribute to building strategies that increase equity in the region. The data collected in the conversation cafes and focus groups will inform the development of a community-based response model to hate incidents and other equity strategies. I See You, Sagi Bonilla is a powerful storytelling art exhibit that includes a collection of video stories of local individuals who have lived experience of discrimination. The exhibit generated awareness about how discrimination impacts people and the reality that hate incidents occur within our region. Other people impacted with discrimination have also come forward to share their own experiences, giving them a safe space to do so. The videos were developed to connect people on a human level and increase our empathy for other people. The feedback received has been emotional and powerful, and the exhibit has been nominated for a Wood Buffalo Excellence in Arts Award for the impact it has had on the community. The CC Wood Buffalo has focused on building a pathway to education for an inclusive community that understands and respects human rights and equity. These trainings have increased the capacity of people in our community to further human rights, support survivors of hate, and address discrimination. Some of our upcoming initiatives are Hate Hurts Workshop for Schools, Unconscious Bias Training, Anti-Radicalization Training, Development of a Provincial Response Model for Hate Incidents, and Community Conversations with Indigenous and Black communities. For more information about CC Wood Buffalo, please contact myself. Now, I would like to introduce Tyra from Calgary as the next presenter.
Hi there, I am Tyra Erskine, and I am the Calgary CCE Coordinator. The Coalition's Creating Equity work within Calgary is being led by Action Dignity. Action Dignity is a community-based organization that facilitates the collective voice of Calgary's ethnocultural communities towards full civic participation and integration through collaborative action. Action Dignity uses an ethnocultural lens to inform intersectional programming. This framework is useful within the context of provincial human rights advocacy. The Calgary Outcomes are facilitating connections between equity-seeking groups, creating a constellation map of equity within the region, and increasing knowledge in the region of how to effectively respond to discrimination and inequity. The CCE Advisory Group meets every second month to discuss issues of equity within Calgary. The advisory group informs the priority of the Calgary Coordinator, assists on regional events, and disseminates CCE resources to their networks. This Calgary CCE Advisory Group was a main component to the success of the Black Intersectionality panel. Some members participated on the panel, others helped to create the panel questions, and all of them helped share the event so that there was attendance of over 50 people. The Calgary Coordinator is also present on various coalitions in the province, including the Calgary Ability Network's Newcomers with Disabilities Table, the Calgary Anti-Oppression Network, Stride Advocacy, the Anti-Racist Organizational Change Project, and others. The Black Intersectionality panel was created because of the lack of diversity on current Calgary panels. This topic was chosen because of the conversations that were had during the Calgary Advisory Group meeting. This panel and community discussion were about the ways that Blackness and other forms of oppression intersect with each other. The Coalition's Creating Equity hosted a film screening, panel, and community training to facilitate the movement towards ending hate in Alberta. These screenings occurred in both Calgary and Wood Buffalo. The Not in Our Town screening and community discussion was organized so that Calgarians could have preliminary discussions about hate within Alberta. The intention was to facilitate the conversations and start the groundwork so that communities will be aware of the necessity of a provincial response model for addressing issues of hate and discrimination. Every Vote Counts was a civic engagement event for ethnocultural community members within the Action Dignity area. This was a two-part event. Part one was educating ethnocultural community members on how to vote, how to engage with political candidates, and what issues are important in that election. Part two was the community members then having an opportunity to engage with political candidates in the Action Dignity riding and ask them questions about their platform. The Calgary Equity Summit is an event that will be taking place in October 2019. This event is an opportunity to discuss the engagement of different equity-seeking groups within the federal election and build partnerships between these groups. The development of the response model has included 5 focus groups in Calgary. These focus groups, as well as the online survey mentioned by the provincial coordinator, will lead to the development of a provincial response model. These focus groups took place in September and included attendance from individuals that identified with all the protected grounds of the Alberta Human Rights Act. To continue the conversation from last year's Black Intersectionality panel, various members of the Calgary CCE have requested for there to be a part 2 of this event. This event will occur during February 2020 and will be planned in partnership with the CCE Advisory Group. For more information, please contact Tyra Erskine, the Calgary CCE Coordinator. Next, I'd like to introduce Victor from Lethbridge as the next presenter.
Hi, I'm Victor Ulade Jr., and I am the CCE Coordinator in Lethbridge. The Lethbridge CCE Efforts is a collaborative effort that brings multiple nonprofit agencies and community partners together under the umbrella known as the Lethbridge Diversity and Inclusion Alliance, or LYDIA, which was formerly known as the CMART Committee, which was a UNESCO initiative. LYDIA is a community wing of the City of Lethbridge's dedication to fighting racism and discrimination, as well as providing learning opportunities for group and community members to gain knowledge in regards to inclusion and diversity. These efforts are overseen by myself, the CCE Coordinator here, and I co-chair this committee alongside Jerry Firth. Our goals for the Lethbridge Coalition includes providing educational opportunities for coalition members and the community at large to learn about diversity and inclusion, called Lunch and Learn sessions, which will be held monthly. We hope to develop a response model to help survivors overcome hate incidents. We also want to increase opportunities to engage youth in addressing racism and discrimination, while also being a hub for social advocacy within the community. So far, our highlights have included the forming of a community network of agencies dedicated to making Lethbridge an inclusive community, hosting human rights workshops for community members to expand their knowledge base, and assisting with the planning of Reconciliation Week in Lethbridge. We supported the Black community within the city with the educational efforts, while helping to organize a week-long Black History Month event that highlighted the Black struggle in diaspora. We have also facilitated anti-discrimination workshops in high schools across the city and a social inclusion workshop at the post-secondary institution in collaboration with one of our partners, the Snack Plus. And finally, we helped local community groups such as the White Buffalo Trailblazers with grant writing and provided grant writing workshops for others with the help of the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Our collaborative efforts has seen us partner with the Lethbridge Immigrant Services, the White Buffalo Trailblazers, the Community Social Development Department within the City of Lethbridge, Community Helpers, the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association, and the Support Network of Academics of Color Plus, or SNAC Plus, amongst many others within the community. Going forward, we hope to continue our efforts in growing the network, facilitate more anti-discrimination workshops, develop a community response model to hate incidents, and provide more learning opportunities for the community. I can be contacted via email, which is equity@youth.ab.ca, or by telephone, which is 403-329-3555. My extension number is 501. Feel free to check out our Facebook page as well. Just type in Lethbridge Diversity and Inclusion Alliance. And on this note, I would like to pass things on to my contemporary Red Deer, Michael Regis.
My name is Michael Regis, the Inclusion and Diversity Specialist for the City of Red Deer. And today I will be representing the Coalition for the City of Red Deer. Today I will be discussing the Coalition's role in the Red Deer Welcoming and Inclusive Communities Network. I will be using Red Deer WIC for abbreviation for the Red Deer Welcoming and Inclusive Communities Network. The WIC is a large component of the Coalition's role. So the WIC is a community-driven circle of individuals interested in diversity and inclusion and reducing racism and discrimination. The Red Deer WIC provides education and awareness of diversity and inclusion, promotes empathy and compassion, and in order to build a safe environment for everybody. The slides, photos that are included below are a vigil that was held by the Red Deer WIC, where we came together to support the local mosque after the Christchurch shooting. So many of Red Deer social service organizations participated in the vigil, including City of Red Deer employees and emergency services. There is a diverse range of organizations that sit on the Red Deer WIC as members. As you can see, these are examples of organizations represented within the Welcoming Inclusive Communities Network. A few include, for example, the Central Alberta Pride Society, the Red Deer Native Friendship Center, PB Mart, which is a private organization, Golden Circle, and Central Alberta Refugee Effort. The WIC continuously welcomes new members. The Coalition plays a fundamental role in organizing activities and outcomes with the Red Deer WIC. One initiative was Yellow Vest Engagement, where the Coalition went out to engage with Yellow Vest protesters that were protesting in January and February. The Coalition helped to debunk myths and stereotypes and xenophobic elements of the protests, including anti-Muslim immigration and perceptions about Sharia law and anti-immigration in general. The Coalition Coordinator also played a fundamental role in the organization of the Waskasu CP Powwow. The Coalition worked with the City of Red Deer to secure the facility, which was the Service Arena, a new facility here in town, which was provided to the Red Deer Native Friendship Center and the Urban Aboriginal Voices Society at free of charge. this venue will be used in the years to come. So these are only a few of the events and initiatives that the Coalition participates in. A few of the future goals that the Coalition is working with the Red Deer WIC in organizing currently is the Workplace Inclusion Charter, which is supporting local employers into understanding the needs and the challenges of diverse groups, particularly immigrant and refugee groups, in the employment industry of Red Deer. The Interfaith Global Cafe, which is going to bring together multiple faith organizations and helping to create community capacity and support marginalized groups against racism and discrimination, and also bring groups together in cultural and relationship events, building events. And the Red Deer WIC Action Plan, which is to create a more sustainable Red Deer WIC into the future by working on our terms of reference and finding more funding initiatives to create community capacity for future goals. So the Coalition works with the WIC in continually revisiting the governing structure of the WIC and terms of reference. For more information, please contact Michael Regis, Diversity and Inclusion Specialist for the City of Red Deer. Now here is Helen to close the webcast.
We hope you've enjoyed the Coalition's Creating Equity webcast. Thank you to the Alberta Human Rights Commission and the Education and Multiculturalism Fund for their support of this initiative. As a society, we all lose as racism, discrimination, and hate impose barriers for people to reach their full potential. Let's work together to build an equitable Alberta.